Gutsy, fearless, all of the above would be best to describe our guest today. Sebastian Mack, UCLA men's basketball team, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. For Nick Koop, I'm Bryan Fenley. Sebastian has dropped double-digit points in 5 of the last 6 games. And on this conversation, you're going to be dropping some knowledge. We look forward to having you here. Pleasure to have you. Thanks so much.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here for sure.
In your Twitter bio, or was it your Instagram bio, you say you are proposed to the game.
Yeah.
So being here at UCLA, enthralling yourself in the sport, why does it feel like every day is wedding day?
I mean, I would probably say that because, it's like when you marrying something, you dedicated to it for life. And so when I put propose, I ain't want to just say married. I feel like when I propose to it, it's still fresh, and you still like getting that good love out of it. So that's why I put propose instead of married.
I love that. Young guy, freshman, he knows about what long-term commitment means.
Yeah.
What's your basketball journey been like, not just here at UCLA, but throughout your life? How have you seen yourself grow through the sport of basketball?
I mean, I've been playing since I was 3, and then I was playing competitively at probably like around 5th, 6th grade. My mother and them always made me play up. So I was playing up with older guys a lot. That's why all of my friends are mostly like guys that are still in college right now. And so just been playing basketball a lot. I tried to do something different. I tried to swim a little bit just to give something different, just to see. It was cool. I still kind of like swimming, but my heart and passion is basketball, and it's very time-consuming as it is. But when I get a chance to, dive in the pool or something like that, I'm always down. But, I played throughout the city of Chicago growing up there. Then I had moved to Las Vegas for high school. Went to Durango High School, and I ended my high school year and graduated from Coronado, which was I had a great time there. It was just fun, playing with Coach Kaufman, and then my coach is Chad Beaton. I feel like we built like a family. So I still contact those guys today. They still help me going forward here. And then being at UCLA is great. This is something I always dreamed of, being from Chicago, small town. Just being able to be in this atmosphere, get to see all the greats and people who will come back to visit the campus, and like all those professionals and even the people that you don't know about really. You gotta just pick each other's brain. So I always try to pick as many people I see walk through the gym or just even on campus just to talk to them, just to see what I could use and implement myself.
As I'm listening to you talk, Sebastian, you're only a freshman, but in so many ways you feel like an old soul. Like you're a lot older than, say, your designation as a freshman is. Why do you think that is?
I'll probably say my parents. They always, they taught me a lot of things growing up, and they also made me either learn by experience or they also just told me as well. So I got both ends of the stick. Growing up, they were on me about being on time, always making sure I'm competing on everything, and don't want to be as lackadaisical growing up because, when you at this point, I'm about to hit 20 next month, so I got to be an adult. She knows I was going to be on my own. So she had my older brother. They always, just prepared me for life and just going forward like that.
Bryan used a word off the top that was also in my head, fearless. That's the immediate word that comes to mind watching you play basketball. And I'm sure part of that is playing against guys that were older than you for so long. Mm-hmm. How did you see yourself kind of grow into having that fearless mentality when you play?
I mean, I feel like that's where I'm at best when I'm fearless. I don't feel I could just go out there and just be free, because, when you're scared, you tend to get timid. You don't want to do certain things. But if you're fearless, you don't care the outcome. You just push through it. And if you fail to succeed, you're still fearless and you can still get through it.
Bruin basketball standout as a freshman here, Sebastian Mack, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. Coming off the win against Arizona State, you talked about this team really starting to build that dog inside of them. And as I hear that you played up a lot growing up, that's where that dog came from.
Yeah.
How loud is that bark of a dog, this team, and where they are right now?
I feel like it's getting loud every day we're practicing. We tend to get in each other just to make sure that we prepare for what's going on the court. So we try to make our practices harder than the games. And so just by going out there, competing, diving on the floor, just doing all the things it takes to win, and we're just going to try to implement that in the games.
Yeah, you and Lazar kind of echoed each other after that Arizona game saying, hey, we are so together. In what ways have you seen that with this team? Maybe not even on the court and in practice, but how you guys have grown together this season?
I'll probably say, being from different worlds and different cultures, it took a while, but I feel like we're starting to click it in with each other, going out with each other. Even in, like, before games, meeting up with each other just to talk about how we want to go ahead and going forward in our game. But, I mean, also just in the locker room, talking next to each other, everybody telling each other stories, laughing about each other's jokes. Everybody just, bringing it in as a family.
When you think about where you gain your motivation from, what words can be said to you that get you to show the best version of who you are on the court?
I mean, I feel like Mick Cronin knows a lot. He talks to me a lot, locker room wise, and even face to face. Just making sure that I'm ready to go out there and compete. He said it doesn't really matter if I'm a freshman or a senior. I should just be out there to play basketball because that's what I've been doing my whole life, and I should have fun with it.
The ways Mick Cronin and this coaching staff have gotten better play out of you throughout the course of the season. Your driving game's obviously elite. We've seen that. But also I feel like we're starting to see that passing off the driving game more as of late, too. What are you seeing out of your game and how that's the other things have been pulled out of you here these last few weeks?
I mean, talking to Mick, and watching film a lot, film has really helped me because I draw a lot of attention. And so now when I'm making the reads for others, we ended up making more shots. We're getting better as a team. And if I could just see the ball go in, if it's not even my shot, if it's my teammates, it gets us going as a unit.
How has working with Mick changed the way you look at film than maybe you would have beforehand?
It made me study more of the details of it. Because, like, usually you just watch film, you just try to I mean, for me, I was always just trying to see the good parts, just trying to see the buckets and all that. But when I look at film with Mick, he says, like, look at your stance. You got 2 feet in the paint. You can't take a shot when your body's twisted this way and all that. So just like the little key points that helped me just change my game. I feel like that helped me a lot.
With so many new guys on this team, like yourself, how have you seen leadership develop on this team this year?
I feel like, as a group, we are starting to, be like self-police teams, because, you can't always be, the coach coming in for us. We got to always just bring it in for each other. So I feel like when we start making sure that we're on top of each other's and holding each other accountable, I feel like that's when we are at our best.
You being at your best, others holding each other accountable, but how do you yourself hold yourself accountable?
I mean, I just try to go out there and do what it takes, And if I do mess up, I let my guys know, and I feel like that they could trust me, to get it back. And so that's where my head is, because we're going to make mistakes. It's basketball, you're not going to be perfect throughout the entire game. So if your teammates feel like they got, like, we all locked in as a family, and that, family messes up at times, but you always know that, oh, he got my back, so it's cool. So that's why I try to, we try to just keep going with each other.
Going back a little bit in your basketball career, I wanted to know, you remember the first time you dunked?
Yeah.
And what that was?
I dunked the summer of my 8th grade year. And it was exciting, actually, because I never really was a high flyer like that. And then when I started working on my bounce, working on my legs and getting stronger, that's when it finally just took off.
I remember dunking in 8th grade too, right, Bryan?
I'll tell you, I'm 5'11". When I was in college, you guys are not going to believe me, but I promise you, I could dunk a tennis ball on a 10-foot goal. You're laughing at me and you're saying, who is this guy? I'm telling you, back in my day, Nick and Sebastian, I had a little bit of boosties.
Had some bounce.
had some bounce. Last one from me, and Sebastian Mack is with us. I'm Bryan Fenley. The longest, as you were falling in love with the game, as you were taking us through early on in your life, how often would you be out there by yourself just working on your game? And what are you thinking about your younger self out there, just you, a basketball, and a goal?
I mean, I always just try to use my imagination with things. So, like, even, like, if I'm just sitting there, like, even to this day, I come in here by myself, no cones or anything, just shooting, just trying to, see, like, how the game would work, just imaginary other people guarding me and stuff like that. I feel like that's where, like, your reaction time comes. You'll be able to see it. You see a double team, or you could just split it, or you could throw it to the next guy. And I feel like just using your imagination when you're out there and just putting yourself in those situations mentally, and then when you see it physically, it's nothing. You can just handle it.
As this team has played better over the last few games, you've played better as well. When you're at your best, what does that look like?
I mean, everybody's clicking. I would just say it like that. The ball's moving. We all scoring as a unit. I feel like that's when I'm at my best, when we're all going at one flow.
We see your best on the court. We got your best in this interview. There's no question about it. Nick Koop, I'm Bryan Fenley. Sebastian Mack, a certified bucket getter. He's proposed to the game every day. He's having a love affair with the sport. Fearless is the MO, and we were so glad to have you. Thanks so much, Sebastian.
Thank you for having me, guys.